So guys, as you probably already know, this is the Polaris RZR Turbo S. This is the craziest razor that you can buy right now. But there are a ton of different flavors of razor, different engine options and width sizes and all kinds of accessories. So in this video, we're gonna really dig into the build and price tool. I'm gonna build the most expensive RZR Turbo S we possibly can. Then we'll build the cheapest razor out there. And then we'll finish up by building the razor that I would buy with my own money. So let's dig into that build and price. There really are just a ton of different kind of razors you can get now. So let's just take a look at all of the different Polaris models that they offer. So starting out down here, Polaris breaks it down by special editions, 4-seat models, extreme performance they call it, and then trail and sport models. But we're just gonna skip right over this and go right into the build and price tool. Now, getting started here, and let me also mention now that these are all US prices. So getting started with build and price, they list it by seat. So you have the 1-seat. Now, of course, that is the RS1. Then 2-seat models. There's 7 different 2-seat models and 4 4-seat models. So we're going to go 2-seat. And now here is the entire RZR lineup. And the differences, the two big differences, there's lots of differences, but the two big ones are engine and width. So starting off, you have the RZR 570, which is 50 inches wide, and then the RZR 900, which is also 50 inches, but offers a lot more horsepower, 75 compared to 45. Then you add the S onto the RZR, and suddenly it becomes 60 inches wide. You have the RZR S900 and the RZR S1000. Then get rid of the S and go for XP, and this beast becomes 64 inches wide, and of course it continues to get more power. So the RZR XP 1000 makes 110 horse, and then of course the XP Turbo is 168 horsepower, and then the big poppy is the RZR XP Turbo S, which is 72 inches wide, which is just mega width, and it makes 168 horsepower. So we want to see what the cheapest RZR model is. That's how we're going to start this build. So we're going into a RZR 570. Now, they still offer it with EPS, electric power steering, or without. So we're going to go no EPS here. You only have one color option, which is white. So we go next. Now, I will just say about this configurator in general, Polaris configurator is really cool. Look at this. You can drag the machine around. You can really get a good view. You can zoom out, zoom way in, and then you can even go full screen. So, you know, compared to other manufacturers, this is probably the most in-depth build and price tool. So now we're over here in the accessories. Now again, this is the cheapest RZR you can buy, so I'm not going to put any accessories on it. Of course, there are all kinds of stuff, bumpers, front bumpers, different lock and ride rear panels, different windshields, but we're just going to be good as the machine sits and go, I am finished. It saves the build for you, and let's see what our summary is. I don't want this internet price. You know what, let's go back. That's going to try to hook me up with the dealer, which is not what I'm looking to do right here. I just want to get the price. So we're here. This time we're going to go build summary. So here you go right here. Starting price, $10,299 plus this destination is going to bring you up to basically $11,000 for the cheapest RZR you can buy. That's the 570 50-inch wide model. So now we'll go unfinished. And let's go all the way back to the start. So we'll get back to that build, the main build section, but let me just show you the special editions over here because you can't get to them from the other build section. So they have the Trails and Rocks model, and then you have the High Lifters. Now the High Lifters are all about mud, and I actually did a full review on 2 or 3 different High Lifter models, actually, the Ranger, RZR, and the Sportsman, so you guys should go check that video out right now. The High Lifter models get pretty expensive, as does this Trails and Rocks, because they get a lot of, you know, unique equipment. So let's just really quickly look at Trails and Rocks. We'll go over here to features, and the big features here are down here. So you get 55% lower gearing, new low-speed throttle mapping, rock-ready crawler tires with bead locks, and that's a big difference, those bead locks, and still get 14 inches of ground clearance just like the standard machine. So let's just back it off again, and we'll quickly take a look at the other special edition, which is the High Lifter. So you come over here, we'll go to just the 2-seat High Lifter model. Now, I can just tell you the differences because I was just riding these things. It's these ITP tires, the mud tires, and then of course you get snorkels out the back, I'm trying to see, you can see them right here behind the driver and passenger, snorkels for everything. And same thing, the gearing on this model is made a little bit lower, so you get a little bit more torque to the ground. You get 15 inches of ground clearance. You get arched A-arms to help you get over the mud. All kinds of custom stuff on these high lifter models, which again also makes them a little bit more expensive. So now we're going to go and try to build the most expensive RZR possible. And no, it's not one of those special editions. It's a 4-seater. So you go 4-seater down here, XP4 Turbo S. Now this is also the model that we are testing right now. And you've seen the Fast Lane crew from Denver put it through its paces. And coming up later this week, I'm going to take the Turbo S out for a rip. So make sure you stay tuned for that review as well. Now I'm going to go Polaris Blue because I like blue. And this thing will load up here for us. Now remember, we're going for the most expensive unit possible. So it already starts at $30,499. Pretty expensive right out of the gate. This is a nice looking machine, but we're gonna add everything to it. So let's go for half windshield. What about doors? Aluminum half doors. Sure, let's take the aluminum doors. The desert bumper, that sounds cool. I would take the bumper. Rear bumper, we'll add that. Rock sliders, not shown. 4C kickout rock sliders black. 4C kickout low profile rock sliders. Now we want the most expensive options, so I'm going to pick one of these two even though they're not shown. And I wouldn't get white rock sliders, so we'll add them in black. And then how about mirrors? We definitely want a rear view mirror. We'll take the more expensive one, and we want those folding side mirrors. Now, that's not all. You can add a lot to this thing. Of course, 4,500 pound winch. Got to have that for when you get stuck. And now, storage. Lock and ride cargo bag or cargo box. Well, the bag's more expensive, so we'll take the bag. Now, I'm not going to get the RZR whip flag, so there's one option I'm not going to add. And then we don't need the mount either. What about coolers? We'll leave a cooler off. And a click 6 harness, we don't really need those either. Although, what the hell? We're trying to make this thing expensive. You get one, you get them both. Awesome. Now, what about audio and lighting? Well, you can really go crazy with the lighting on these machines. I mean, just take a look at all of these light options. It's actually pretty crazy, all of the different options you can get. So, I'm going to add, let's see, that's $789. This seems to me the most expensive light option right here, this 32-inch LED bar. So let's go ahead and add that. So there you go, that's the most expensive light bar added. Now let's just scroll over here and see what else. You got accent lights, LED adjustable headlight bezels, audio pods, all kinds of things. We're going to leave this stuff off. So we just got the one big light bar right up here. That's pretty cool. Now we definitely need an audio system. Now max boost subwoofer, that sounds cool. Audio harness, audio pods, and ride command audio adapter. Well, we're going to add this subwoofer because hell yes, we definitely need a sub. And this thing is going to be an absolute monster with a subwoofer in it. Now let's go over here to tires and wheels. Now again, tires and wheels, you can just spend a ton of money. What's the most expensive set? It's probably these Pro Armor dual threat 32 inchers. Oh no, it's not. We've got 2,000 over here. 2,059. We want the most expensive tire option we can get. And just look at all the different tire options. Polaris is really being smart here, offering so many different choices straight from the dealership as an accessory. So it seems to me that these are the most expensive wheels going. These revolver accent Pro Armor bead locks and crawlers. So we're going to go ahead and add those guys. And that alone adds $2,000 to the price tag. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, oh, these are just different tires. These are for the desert. I was looking at trail. Then you have the rock stuff. Still looks like nothing is more expensive than those ones I chose. There they are there. Lug nut and accessories. Ooh, beadlock red rim. Yeah, you know what? Let's get the red beadlocks. They're pretty cool. It's not going to show it though. And there you go. I mean, there's still a couple other small options you could add, but this is basically the most expensive RZR that you can buy straight from a dealership. And the total price, as configured, $37,898, nearly 40 grand, which of course is pretty crazy for a side-by-side, but the performance that these things offer nowadays is just unbelievable. So now let's click out of this guy, and we will now look at what I would build. If I was going to buy a razor today, exactly which razor would I be buying? Well, I can tell you 72 inches wide is way too wide for the trails that I run on. And 50 inches, those are fun units, but that's a little too skinny. For me, the 50-inch thing is just not quite enough. So we'll go over here to build, and we'll look at the whole lineup again. So I definitely not going 50-inch, and I'm not going 72, which leaves me with either 60 or 64. And again, I think I could get away with the 60-inch, but I would definitely go for the 1000 because I want that power. So if I'm building a machine, I'm building this guy right here, a Razor S1000. So let's walk through here, and I'll tell you all about the machine I would go for. Probably not the color I would pick, but I don't have a choice here. So titanium metallic, there it is. Now let's load this guy up. So already looking pretty good, just as stock. Now, let's see what we have down here. All kinds of different roofs. I would definitely get a roof, but all of a sudden I care about the price, so I would just take black roof because this is the cheapest, just in poly. Now, what kind of windshields do you have? Same thing. I do really appreciate a windshield, so I would definitely get a full windshield. Now, not the glass windshield. That's way too much. I wouldn't get a half windshield. I'd get a full. So I'd probably go for this guy here, the flip down hard coat poly. Yeah, it's nice to have a full windshield, especially when you're out hitting water or mud. Keeps it all out of your face. Rear panel, no, I can skip that. Doors. So, you know what? You can get these whole aluminum half doors, or you can just get inserts. And it's a lot of money, $400, but I still think I would get the inserts. It is nice to have this coverage here so you don't get mud and stuff shooting up at you right off that front tire, just throwing it right at you. So let's see for bumpers. Now, same thing, bumpers, I would definitely spend the money because, you know, you're always hitting something when you're off-road, whether it be brush or trees or sticks. So having a bumper just protects your machine. And when you're spending this much cash, spend a little bit more and get the protection. So what would I take here? 259, 259. Probably this front bull bumper in black. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's just enough to keep things off the front of the machine. And then how about rear? You got the deluxe or the red. They're both the same. Got to keep it black just to keep it consistent. Yeah, that looks nice. That's just enough protection. Now, rock sliders and fenders. This is a tough call. I don't do a ton of rock crawling, but same thing, rock sliders, I should say, go a long way when you are getting, you know, damage up in that area, when you are dragging right here under the door. So for $300, I think I would add the rock sliders just for that much more protection, but I wouldn't get them red, I'd get them black. Let's keep it consistent here. That's looking pretty nice. And I always appreciate mirrors. Mirrors are important. I don't necessarily think you need both the rear view and the side mirrors. I'd kind of say one or the other. And for me personally, just for the width of it, I would definitely take this wide angle rear view mirror. Nice to have if you're riding with buddies and you want to see what's behind you, and then you don't have anything out here on the roll cage sort of, you know, sticking out from the machine. All right, now what's next? Utility and performance. I like a winch. $500 for the 3,500 pound winch and $850 for the big 4,500 pound winch. But if I'm spending my own money on this thing, I think I'm going to skip the winch. If I really find I need it, I can get it later, but I don't want to spend the money. The cargo area back here on this machine is not bad, so I could definitely, you know, just strap my own cooler and my own bags down in there. So I think I would skip the storage as well. Same with the coolers, I already own those. Not getting the 6-point harness, no way. Now, same thing, lighting. I don't really ride that much at night. Lighting's not that important to me personally, so I can skip over the lighting. Now let's look at audio and tech. Now, I'd have to get the radio in this machine, and for $369, I think I would do it. I definitely do like having tunes out on the trail, and then the only issue is you have to get the speakers. So I'd go for these door speakers down here. That's an extra, over $700 for this audio system, but I really do like having my music out there, so I think I would pony up the cash. Now, tires and wheels, I don't think I would spend on, because same thing, the aftermarket is huge. If you really find that what comes stock here isn't cutting it, you can go out and get something. It's nice that Polaris offers these all these different options, I should say, but I think if it's my money, I'm just going to go ahead and skip that. Now, these are all just the different kinds of tires. You can even get specific snow tires, which is always great to see for us Canadians. And of course, I can skip those as well. So this is my machine, and as configured, a fairly round number, $20,953. So plus $685, essentially like $21,500 for this machine, which is not cheap, but this thing has everything you're gonna need on it. Nice protection, roof and windshield, plus that 1000cc engine, 100 horsepower. This machine, no doubt, would be an absolute blast. And now that I spent all my time sitting here building it, I'm a little upset that I can't go riding it right now. And really quickly for those Canadian viewers out there, let me just show you the Canadian pricing. We'll just run through this a little faster. We won't go through and build everything. So let's go for the 2-seat models. Now, of course, these are Canadian prices. Starting for this 570 is $12,599. Everything is on average about $2,000 to $3,000 more expensive in Canada. Topped out by this Turbo S, which is $33,999. But if you crank it up to 4 seats, it brings this Turbo S to $36,999. And loading one of these machines up to $40,000 in Canada happens really quickly. So what do you guys think of my RZR build, and what would you put on a RZR if you were building one? Let me know in the comments below, and as always guys, make sure you come back here to TFL Off-Road, hit subscribe for the latest news, views, and real world reviews. See ya!